All right, if you're trying to build a brand today, I want you to just, for a second, forget everything you think you know about marketing. Seriously. Instead, we're going to take a trip, a big one. We're going 140 million miles away from Earth to a place where the most important rules for communicating with technology were written not in a boardroom, but out of pure absolute necessity. Okay, picture this. It's January 4th, 2004. A little six-wheeled robot lands on the red dust of Mars. That's the Spirit rover. And it is a staggering 140 million miles away from the team at NASA who built it. I mean, what an incredible achievement, right? Just an unbelievable feat of engineering. But you know what? That huge distance, that wasn't actually the biggest problem. Nope, there was something else. Something much more subtle and way more dangerous that could have completely wrecked the whole mission before it even got started. And this was it. This was the real challenge. 20 minutes. Yeah, 20 minutes. That's how long it took for a single command to travel from Earth to Mars. Just one way. Think about that. Every instruction they sent was a total leap of faith. You hit send and then nothing. You just had to wait and hope. There was zero room for mistakes. None. So that 20-minute delay, it created this huge, scary gap in communication. You're sending commands completely blind with absolutely no way of knowing if the rover on the other end actually got it right. You can't just ping it and ask, hey, did you get that? Just let that sink in. A 40-minute round trip for a simple yes or no. You couldn't ask, wait, did you mean turn the left wheel or the right one? Because Spirit wasn't smart like we think of AI today. It was obedient. It could only do exactly what was perfectly structurally defined. It had no ability to guess at all. So what do? I mean, NASA's engineers couldn't exactly change the speed of light, right? So they had to do something else. They had to invent a whole new way of talking to this machine. They had to literally engineer a language of absolute undeniable certainty. They built a language that was so incredibly precise, there was just no room for error, no way to misunderstand it. It was made for a machine, pure and simple. Zero ambiguity. None. And when I say detailed, I mean incredibly detailed. Every single part of the rover, every little component, even each of its 6 wheels, was given its own unique official name. It was treated as its own thing, a defined entity. The goal was dead simple. Get rid of any and all confusion. And the result of all this? It was just, wow, astounding. This little rover was only supposed to last for 90 days. 90! Instead, it kept going for over 2,200 Martian days. That is the unbelievable power you get when you create perfect structural clarity. And, okay, here it is. This is the big pivot. The connection from that little rover on Mars straight to you and your brand. Spirit couldn't guess what NASA meant. It could only execute what was structurally defined. And guess what? That's exactly how AI works with your brand today. Now, seriously, think about it. These massive AI systems we use every day, ChatGPT, Google Search, they are unbelievably powerful. But they have the exact same core limitation as that rover from 2004. They can't read your mind. They can only work with what you give them and how clearly you define it for them. So that brings us to a huge question. Maybe the question if you're building a brand right now. Is your brand speaking a language that machines can actually understand? Or is it just noise? Okay, so what do we even mean by an entity when we're talking about AI? Well, it's way more than just your company name or your product. An entity is a structurally defined, thing, a unit of meaning that a machine can recognize and classify with total certainty. It's like a unique digital fingerprint for your brand. No confusion. And this right here is a really important difference to get. Traditional branding, that's for people. It's all about emotion and stories and trying to be remembered. But entity clarity, that's for machines. It's all about structure and definition. The goal isn't to be remembered, it's to be understood. And in today's world, being understood by machines is how you get found in the first place. All right, so the big question is, how do you actually do this for your own brand? Well, you do the same thing NASA did. You engineer a framework for recognition. You build it step by step so that machines see you and understand you correctly. And here's what that framework looks like. It's a 4-step process. First up, the signal audit. This is where you figure out how AI even sees you right now. Step 2 is structural definition. You have to create one single master definition of who you are. Step 3, cross-platform labeling. This just means making sure that definition is exactly the same everywhere. And finally, step 4, machine recognition. This is the goal, right? It's the point where AI stops guessing about you and starts citing you as the source. Okay, so we've talked about the what and the why. Now let's get to the how. Let's talk about the first real practical steps you can take to start engineering your brand's recognition with AI. Here are 5 things you can literally start doing today. 1, run an audit. Go to ChatGPT, Claude, Google, and ask them about your brand. See what they say. 2, write it down. A clear 2 to 3 sentence canonical definition of your entity. This is who you are. 3, use some basic schema.org markup on your website. Seriously, think of it like a nutrition label on a food package. It just tells Google and other machines exactly what's on the page. 4, standardize everything. Make sure your language is identical across your LinkedIn, your website, all your public profiles. And 5, check your work. After about 30 days, go back and see what's changed. Verify your recognition. You see, it all comes back to that one core idea. Spirit couldn't guess. It couldn't just figure it out. And today's AI, even with all the information in the world at its fingertips, it operates on the exact same principle. It can't guess either. So I want to leave you with this final question. I really want you to think about it. Look at your own brand. Look at the signals you're sending out into the world. Are you engineering your brand to be recognized, or are you just throwing stuff out there and hoping to be interpreted?